start the live event. Your event is starting. Okay, and now it seems like I'm live. Now, how do I go? Oh, view on the watch page? There you go. Not easier than I thought. All right. I'm live? Am I live? I'm live. All right. It looks like I am live. Let's go on live on Instagram. Grab your phone, please. What is up, Watch fam? I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and today I am going to do a live ASKTNH. We are switching from Thursdays to Wednesdays, which is fun, because for a couple of reasons, and you'll see starting next week. We're introducing our series Lug to Lug, which we released today. From here on out will be released on Thursdays with a new watch every week. So our new watches, as you guys all know, come out on Tuesdays, which is usually between 5 and 6 watches. But then on Thursdays, we're going to release another one. I'm not going to tell you what's being released. Well, actually, I'm going to tell. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to tell you what is being released, and I am super excited to get into that stuff. But I'd love to answer some of your questions and do some stuff until then. Cool. Audio is good this week. Wristwatch check, yes. Hair check, damn. I am wearing a Rolex Air King. This is a really ridiculous watch. I just got this in today. It's on actually a really great Cordovan strap as well. What's so special about this watch is really a couple things. One, it has the matching alpha hands to its kind of like odd hour indices. They're, I think, like quote unquote like fancy. There's no actual formal name that I know of. But the dial is gilt and has a tropical patina. So I mean, look at that. I mean, this is just an incredible piece. I'm very, very lucky to own this. This watch will be listed on Thursday in Lug to Lug. So you guys will get a very, very up close look at this watch and to see what it is and what's happening and all that stuff. Can't get that off. Cool. Trying to get phone. These covers, man, they're so hard. If you guys are watching this later on, not live, if you're watching this in retrospect, like, just skip over, like, to the next minute, and that's really going to get into the questions. Show the Rolly, yes. This is the Rolly. A really, really beautiful watch, I mean. Isn't it just stunning? The way a gilt dial, interacts with the light, even artificial light, especially sunlight, but even artificial light is just ridiculous. Look at that. I mean, it's like an explosion. Look at that. And then you catch it in the numerals. Obviously, it's all original. It's fresh from service, and this watch to me is, a Rolex kind of dream watch. I go over here usually. Cool. Thank you. Is this on Theo Harris?
Yeah.
Cool. We sure?
Yeah.
Cool. Last week I started the live episode, and it was on Anna's account, not the Theo and Harris account. Anna is our editor, so that's cool. Fuck that Rolly. Let's see Rolando. Rolando's not here right now. I'm gonna say hi to Instagram now real quick. Sorry guys. What is up, Instagram? I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and today we're doing a live AskTNH. So YouTube is already here, and we're gonna start rolling this out. So from now on, it's going to be on Wednesdays, not on Thursdays. A small kind of change in our schedule, but it's going to return dividends. So that's what's going on. Let's get into some questions. What do you guys have? Let me start answering. How old was that vintage Patek you sold last week? For those of you guys who don't know, in last week's Lug to Lug, in this week's Lug to Lug, which premiered today, and in last week's In the Metal, we featured a Patek Philippe. Our first Patek Philippe is reference 3537. It was with a blue dial. Usually they're with a white dial. It's a very slim, yellow gold, watch. This one had an insane blue dial. I mean, like a really, really incredible dial. Swiss O, which makes it a Sigma dial, and it was really incredible. 1 second. Instagram just asked, do you guys ship internationally? Absolutely. I ship anywhere between 1 and 3 watches a week internationally. I've shipped to everywhere. The only place in the last 2 years I've not been able to ship. The only place I believe was Myanmar. So that is that's the one place. So my boy in Myanmar is still a faithful TNH fan, but we couldn't ship to him. So we shipped to Malaysia, and his buddy in Malaysia shipped his watch in Myanmar. So that's cool. That's cool. Emailed you about the Patek when it first got in and you never replied. I'm so sorry, Scott Hockenberry. I apologize. I probably just very simply did not see your email, and it's 100% my fault, and I owe you one. So next time we have something in that you like, whether that's this Rolex or anything, not only will I reply like I should have to begin with, but I will I'll give you a discount. I'll remind myself to give you. You remind me to give you a discount because I fucked up. That's it. Really enjoyed Lug to Lug. Nice to see a little bit more time on each piece compared to In the Metal. Absolutely. Andrew Vinny is a really awesome watch geek, and just to give you guys, a little kind of reference into who asked the question or who made the remark. I agree. I love In the Metal. I really, really do. What's up, Charleston Watch Society? I really, really do love In the Metal. I think it gives a really true insight into what our, what my life is like. I think it communicates trust. I am basically 100%, forward, with my clients about everything in my life almost. You guys see the questions that I answer on this channel sometimes, which are totally unrelated to watches. And I just want them to trust me because they can, and it's just a matter of communicating that. That's it. So I think that introducing my family and introducing what we do on a Saturday, and the whole idea really is not just about vintage watches, but it's about spending time really, really well. And that's what I love about In the Metal. But Lug to Lug is a little bit like In the Metal, but really it's just a much more in-depth look at a particular watch, which other companies have done, just not on the frequency that we do them. We're doing them once a week. So that's what differentiates. Not only are the videos better in many ways than other companies, but they're consistent. We're going to keep coming out with them every week. It's going to be amazing. So that's awesome. Okay, let's show. I'm going to show Instagram really quick what we are wearing, what I am wearing on my wrist right now. I am wearing a Rolex Air King with a chocolate dial. Well, it's really a black dial with a chocolate center. It's got a gilt dial, alpha hands, and beautiful indices. This watch is an extremely special piece. I just got it in today, and I really couldn't be more happy. It comes on a cordovan, it's kind of like a tobacco cordovan strap, and an original Rolex buckle, which these alone cost like $200. These alone, I mean, it's so it was kind of funny, but. Hello, Christian. I have a Rolex Date 836, but don't use the watch. Judith, if you don't use the watch, then you might want to sell it. It's a very expensive watch to not wear. So I think that you should either sell it or consider selling it or something like that. Carl Wong says, "Hey, Christian, what is up, Carl? My boy. Shoot me an email. Talk watches whenever you want. I'd love to buy my first vintage Omega from TNH. Sean, it would be my pleasure to find you." A vintage Omega. Seriously, that's one of my favorite watches. Everybody knows, or that watches the channel, knows that vintage Omega watches are, some of my absolute favorite watches in the world. I think they represent such value. I think they're beautiful. They're well made. From when Omega was an independent company, I'm a huge fan. So that's it. I'm expecting a new Datejust this weekend based on your influence. Oh, thanks so much, man. I'm glad that I influenced you. It means a lot. Do you like smoking cigars or the like? I'll smoke cigars in the summertime. Yeah, I'll smoke a couple cigars over the summer. Maybe 2 or 3 cigars over the summertime. It's like a bonding thing. Me and my buddy Sam will go outside and light up a cigar and have some really bad whiskey and enjoy life. So it's kind of cool. What else we have here? 34 millimeters. Yes, this is a 34 millimeter watch, which I think wears incredibly well on my just under 7-inch wrist. So yeah, it's awesome. My sister just said, "Shout me out, or I'll use your toothbrush." So I am going to shout you out on her right now, because if you touch my motherfucking toothbrush, I will kill you. Christian, what are the prices for Cartier tanks in the vintage market? Very, very difficult. To say. Prices for vintage Cartiers, that is an extremely variable. It's hugely variable on so many different things. I can't just give you a number. I mean, you're talking anywhere from 2,000 to 100,000, but even very commonly 2,000 to 7,000 on small differences. So it's very, very difficult. What else do we have here? What other questions? Skip off my comments. You've definitely cleaned the floor too much. Are fluted bezels in vintage Rolexes not as pronounced as current models? Yes, they're smaller. The ridges are smaller, but they usually the fluted bezels have been polished on vintage models, so they seem more subtle as well. So it's a couple of different things, happening. Cheque papi, cuídese a ver cuando le compre un reloj. I have no idea what you said, Aguilar. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't read Spanish and I don't speak Spanish, even though I am Spanish. But I tried to read it for you just now. So, Christian, do you prefer an Omega Geneve over a Tudor Prince? Very, very different watches. Very different. Very different. Price range. They're very different watches. Different strokes for different folks. Actually, what's funny is the same folk is a client of is an aficionado or a liker or a lover of an Omega Geneve as they are a Tudor usually. But they're different. There's different watches. They serve different purposes. So it's hard to, you talk a lot about Datejust versus day dates. Why? You're saying that I talk about Datejust and don't like day dates? I'm not sure what you mean. Let me know what you mean and I will answer. I mean, yeah, Tony just said on the Datejust King, because I love Datejust. I mean, I don't get me wrong. There's the day date when I get a day date in, I wear it straight for a couple of days, or not straight. I wear it every day at some point in the day for a couple of days. I switch watches like 3 or 4 times a day though. So that is that is something that's definitely a reality. Because they're so alluring, they're so they're so like gangster, and I love that. I just love wearing a sweater and a gold Rolex, partly because I'm a douche, and partly because I have cool taste. But any Tudor day dates coming soon? No, no Tudor day dates yet. Not yet. The Spanish guy says he will someday buy a watch from you. Me too. Well then, thank you guys. Yes, it would be totally my pleasure to help you source a watch that you're gonna love. 100%, and I'll have my dad answer you. I'll answer my dad. Miguel, hey, from Chicago, answer my text, brother. Okay, buddy, I will after the video. No problem. Wake up, you need a drink. I know, I have to drive tonight, so I can't be drinking. Although I could totally use a cup of coffee. But that's it. I see more Datejust here versus day dates. Okay, gotcha. Yes, I love day dates. I have a very great passion for day dates. It's probably my second favorite watch to sell, or top 5 for sure. But Datejust to me, they take the cake. One, they're more approachable, they're more affordable. It's obviously a huge thing. But I think that there is a huge benefit in having a steel, watch. Not only is it more approachable price-wise, but it's a little bit more versatile. I think that a gold day date is more versatile than people give it credit for, but it's still not as versatile as a Datejust. A Datejust can be basically just as formal as a day date, and a Datejust can get way more casual than a day date can. So that's tough. Where do you get the watches in the shop? That's what a question. People love asking that. Someone shot me an email yesterday, and I will answer him. I will, telling me he's going to start a watch company. And if you're watching right now, tell me it's you. And I just cracked up. I said, like, Jesus, this, basically, like, the email was, I'm starting a vintage watch company in England. What can I do to beat you, basically? And I like, what? Why would I tell you that? Why would I give you advice about a competing to start a competing business? That doesn't make any sense at all. I would give you advice to start a marketing agency or a watch strap company, but to start, if you're gonna say, hey Christian, love your shit, I idolize you, let me take all of your fucking business plan bullshit. No. Why would I do that? And frankly, if you could see, if you just watch, you see everything I'm doing anyway. How often do you update the online store? I update the online store usually every Tuesday. Well, every Tuesday for sure. But now every Tuesday and every Thursday. So both. I could use a cup of coffee. Damn. Bought my first Rolex from TNH, and I just got to say I highly recommend the item. Thank you so much, buddy. It means a lot. Seriously. I'm not sure what your Jico. I'm not sure which what your name is or which watch you bought, but tell me which watch you bought. I'll talk about it. Love the questions rolling in on YouTube, brother. Okay. Let's focus on YouTube for a second. I love watches. I want to buy an AP Royal Oak, but prices are too high. They really are. AP Royal Oaks are very tough watches to buy. I think that the only way to go, not the only way, but I much prefer the ultra thin, Royal Oaks, 15202, and so many other, different references. That are ultra thin. And the references like 15300 and 15400, they're much thicker. They're great watches, and I respect them. And even more so because of what the hell was I saying? Because of the price point. But I prefer the ultra slim. Further, these watches are very expensive, and they're very expensive to service too. And everyone forgets that. Everyone forgets the the price, the after price. So what if you spend a watch? If you spend $10,000 on a watch, now it's going to cost you what, $3,000 every 5 years? You know, that's a lot of fucking money. That's a lot of money. Oh, Jericho. Yes, it's up for your father. All you had to say was Jericho. I knew who you were. That's so funny, buddy. Literally my pleasure to help you. It was really, really cool to help you. Did your dad live in Honduras or have you? My dad was born in Brooklyn. Both of his parents were born in Honduras. But my dad was born in Brooklyn. He's been to Honduras when he was a kid. He was there the summer of 1977. But I have never been there. You know. So what else we got here? Vintage watches that perform well are 3 to 6 seconds a day. Yeah, I mean, that's not true. I mean, Andrew, don't tell people that. That's not true. That's chronometer certification. Vintage watches that run well aren't necessarily chronometers. You know, no, I think over a minute is a lot. You know, but it's not. You know, it's not the end of the world. But yes, there's definitely a middle ground there. What social media platform do you get most value response to customers from? I'm seeing a lot of stuff happening on YouTube. I'm a huge YouTube fan. I'm a huge believer in YouTube. I love Instagram. I love YouTube. I love Instagram. I'm getting more into Facebook. I think Facebook is a wonderful medium. We're pushing a lot of our content through Facebook now, which is great. You know, it's got to happen like that. Facebook is just behemoth. I don't know. So you gotta lock that down. Christian, I'm boarding a flight to Japan, and I need to know, what are your thoughts on Panerai and their brand and their watches? You know what's funny? First of all, have fun in Japan. Second of all, I love Panerai at discount low prices. I'm actually a really big Panerai fan. I think that a lot of their watches, you know, especially the oddball kind of models, are really beautiful, especially on like a really fun strap, and you can have a ton of fun, and they pack a lot of value as far as build construction. Their old Unitas movements weren't really anything to be, anything to talk about, but still, the case construction is solid. I mean, it's rock solid. Obviously, it's a status symbol now, but I think a very stylish one. It's very Italian, so I'm a big fan. Tony E, only if he paid me. Anna, you're on fire. You need a fat raise. Don't fly United. That's funny. Can an anti-reflective coating be added to a watch? Do you mean added to a crystal? In which case you could just swap out your crystal for anything else. So, Anna, say hi. Anna, come on the live feed and say hi. Anna just brought me a cup of coffee, which means the world.
Hey, fam.
Hey, fam. What is up, watch fam? You have to say hi to Instagram, too.
Oh, Instagram.
Hi, what's up, Instagram?
How you doing?
That is Anna. She's our editor. Anna produces literally 5 videos a week for us. She takes our photos for our new vintage watches, which I will show you before. And sorry for the incomplete info. You're my boy. You're my boy, Andrew. Andrew's a really great guy, seriously. Andrew, no, hold on. Hi, Anna. Coffee. Yes, Anna is the editor. Anna is my sister. So Anna, who's commenting, that's my sister. Anna, who is right here, is our editor. So, did you sell that Rolex to Gwyneth Paltrow? No, I did not. People thought I did, which I didn't mean to mislead anybody. That was not my intention. And I'll tell you in a second what I meant to do. Fuck. Oh, whew, that was hot. Damn. Woof. The Rolex from last week was box and papers, so it had everything. And I posted a photo of the box on Instagram, and I made a reference to a movie that Gwyneth Paltrow was in years back called Seven, in which Kevin Spacey cut off her head and put it in a box, and there's a famous scene where, he delivers that box to Brad Pitt, her husband, and he knows what's in the box, but he doesn't want to know what's in the box. And he's like, what's in the fucking box? What's in the box? So when I had the box and people were like, oh, what's in it? I commented, not Gwyneth Paltrow's head, and I tagged her. I was really hoping her to just buy it, but she didn't. Strangely, the Old Spice pomade is cheap but really good. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Is this a different... What are you talking about? What is acceptable accuracy for a vintage Timex? Really tough. It's whatever you find to be acceptable. Truthfully, if you spent $30 on it and it's keeping within a couple of minutes and you're happy, then that's it. But it's totally up to you. There's no way for me to, There's no way for me to tell you that. It's whatever's acceptable for you. If you haven't seen the movie, then get the fuck to work. Yeah, that's a great movie. Do you think the watches on the Hodinkee shop are overpriced? Yeah, no doubt. They're overpriced, but that's fine. I mean, they have huge overhead. They have enormous overhead. I wouldn't purchase from there. No, I would not. But I think you got to pick your battles. You can go on eBay and try to get a watch that like if you're looking for a Tudor like that I might have, you can go on eBay and find a comparable Tudor for less money. It's a fact. It's a fact. But in my opinion, you're missing the point. Now, I think that you shouldn't. I don't think you should ever do that. I think that those are very, very dangerous mediums to play around with. You're playing with fire. If you don't know what a movement clone looks like, if you don't know what a replacement bezel looks like, if you don't know what a repainted dial looks like, if you don't know if the watch has been serviced, if you don't know if there's rust on the column wheel, on the wheel train. There are hundreds of different things that can go wrong. So if you don't know that, then that's really that's trouble. So that's why I don't I would never cheap out to save a couple $100. But I would definitely, shop smart. That's why I don't shop at, the Hodinkee shop. That's why at TNH, we don't have an office. I don't. I just don't. We keep our expenses literally the minimum possible. I have 3 slaves. See, no, they're very nice boys, and they are watchmakers. Very nice men, and they are watchmakers. But that's it. I try to really keep everything thin, so we don't have to raise our prices to a ridiculous amount. So Seth, just tell him. Somebody commented, my friend grossly overpaid for a Wittenauer Venus 188. How do I break it to him? Yeah, you don't. Don't break it to him. Just recommend that he consults you next time before doing something. Hey Christian, would you ever buy any of our watches for the shop? I don't know what you have, man. I don't know what you have. He's kind of a dick, though. He tends to have anger management issues. Oh, then tell him. Then tell him. My sister just said, starting up an online watch company called Leo and Maris. Any advice on how to do better than you? No advice. I have a ton of advice that I think you should take, and then run me out of business because whatever, right? You only live once. Totally agree with you, Brendan. Let's see what's going on here. Nothing will be as accurate as smartphone or digital. Exactly. Exactly. I have no problem, with my mechanical watch being less accurate than my phone. I really couldn't care less. I swear to God. I just think as long as it's mechanically sound and it's operating right and it's not rusting or it's not rotting. And it's keeping within time. It's keeping within 30 seconds or whatever. I would never cause an issue. My personal Omega, I think it lost. I wore it for 4 days straight. I think it lost a couple of minutes. But who cares? Not to me. It just doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter. But that's it. 42 millimeters is my max these days for most styles. Yeah, for sure. I wear one 42 millimeter watch. My dad has a 42 millimeter chronograph that I wear occasionally, and I love that. Would you buy a vintage quartz watch? Yeah, it depends, but yeah, for sure. What else we got? Let's take a question from Instagram. You guys want to see the watches? Let's see the watches from this week. Let's take a look. Who's ready? All right, let's start here. Like I said before, this is a Rolex Air King with a black dial, originally black dial that has turned to a center chocolate, but it is still very black if you look at it in normal lighting. But when you take a look at it in the lighting, in the real light, in the direct light, you really see the chocolate. It's a gilt dial. This is an incredible piece. It comes with its not original. It comes with a 1/4-inch strap and an original Rolex buckle. This is an incredible watch. Seriously, this watch will be listed next Thursday. If you want to snack it. Before then, shoot me an email at info@theoandharris.com and we'll hook it up because anyone is always fair game to snag something. That's just how it is. This is a beautiful Tudor with this gray dial, this almost like slate gray but still sunburst dial. Look at that dial. That is just incredible. So I picked this watch up about a month and a half ago. And yeah, it's gray, but it almost has like an olive kind of tone, and I was just such a fan. Take a sip. I love vintage Tudor because of the value it represents next to Rolex, especially. But what's what stood out about this watch is you just don't see it. You really, not only is it pretty, but you really don't see it. This watch is I don't, you can't speak factually about design. I mean, all the time. Something like color, it's very hard. I prefer this watch to a regular kind of standard silver dial. At least right now, depends on the purpose, I suppose. But the rarity alone, to me, just puts it over the top. I do like that. I like the fact that if I post this on Instagram, no one else will have one. I think that's a kind of a cool thing. Anna must be really bored. You would think that, my sister, because she's commenting on Instagram. But my mom makes the whole family watch my live feeds. So that is what's going on. How big is too big? For watches? Oh, God. It depends on your wrist, totally. This is a beautiful Rolex 1601. This is one of my favorite 1601s in a long time. It has put it on a green strap. It's got this silver sunburst dial with obviously original hands. It's got this custard lume on both the hands and on the matching, hour indices. This is a beautiful watch. 18 karat white gold bezel, fluted bezel, and I think it's just, obviously you guys know these are my favorite watches. This is no secret. I've become known at this point. The Datejust is my favorite watch, and that's it. Wine in the mug? No, this is coffee. Yo, you didn't send me an email on the Breitling 806, man. Did you send it to me? Did you text me today? I want to buy it. Okay, shoot me a message. I will hook you up. Literally, shoot me a message right now, and when I sign off, I will answer you. And say that you are Mr. Mustang 990. Seriously, I'll hook you up. This watch is a stunning one, another stunning one. This is an Omega Constellation, yellow gold, but it's not solid. It is plated, and the Pen dial is just it's hard to kind of see, but it's stunning. Jesus Christ, it's just love vintage Omega. Obviously, the Constellation case back and observatory case back. I'm sorry, which is synonymous with the Constellation. Wonderful, wonderful watch. Let's see. Nice question. Okay, sorry, Anna. Forced to watch it, but always find time to amuse myself. That's really funny. Hi, Christian. I have the same 1958 Air King and a white dial. What do you think? Will rise in value in the future or not? Yeah, for sure. No doubt in the world. No doubt in the world. Yeah. Cool. Gerard Perregaux. I love the numerals here. These I don't even have a name for the style. I think that I don't know. You guys can be a judge for yourself. I love the sharpness and the matching hands. The hands are equally sharp. They're technically Dauphine hands, but they have this really almost kind of like hawk. I don't know, really odd. So I think it's beautiful. I think the Gerard Perregaux represents great value, with very similar build quality to an Omega or a Longines in many respects. They are significantly less expensive, and that's phenomenal. So we're talking 10, 15%. That's a lot of money, even more sometimes. So I think this is a really beautiful. Look at the way that looks. Come on. This is the kind of watch that I could have absolutely owned for my first watch. You know what I mean? It hits all the bases. It's the right price. I think that it hits a lot of bases. This is another really cool one. This is a Movado that was made alongside Zenith. Manually wound, solid 14 karat yellow gold case, and it's like a twist on the museum piece without the hour indices. But look at this thing. It's not for everybody. It reminds me a lot of a Patek Philippe Ellipse, but look at this watch. I really can't get over how beautiful I think it is. I'm sure that this watch will turn a lot of people off, but to me, it's just what a class act. It's signed Movado and Zenith at the bottom. Obviously, it has no hour indices, and I just think it's I just think it's beautiful. Obviously, I would wear it with a sweater. I wouldn't wear it with a t-shirt, and it would look incredibly well with a suit or a tuxedo. But Message for United Airlines. I sold my Rolex Submariner to a guy on a flight to Newark on flight. Blah, blah, blah. Do your thing because I want it back. What? You did not sell your Submariner. Get the fuck out of here. You're such a liar. There's no way. Newer. If you had to choose between a Sea Dweller or a ceramic Daytona, I would go with the ceramic Daytona. Would you ever buy a Japanese watch? Absolutely, absolutely. How much for the Movado and the size? Shoot me an email. I'll send you all the specifications. I have like weird like tick about not giving out like certain information like alone. I like everything. You know, I want to look at the whole picture. It's much more comfortable for me. What's the newest watch you own? I have a Swatch from 2004, I think. 2004, 2006. Whenever the Olympics was in Greece. That's probably the newest watch that I own. Yeah, very much a lip style, right? I love it. I love it. I'm gonna go put on the Rolex again. What is the size of the watch? You know, I really don't know. I have to measure it. The Movado. Yeah, I have to measure it. But it wears much larger than my Cartier. It wears much larger than my Cartier. But it's who thinks I should be in the next Instagram live while commenting? Oh my God, my sister. Who thinks that my sister should be in the next Instagram live? I'm gonna show you guys this again. Just look at the way the dial interacts. I mean, with the light, how chocolate. I mean, look at that. That's just phenomenal. You guys can see it as well. Really beautiful. Would you ever buy a non-vintage watch for yourself? Absolutely. Absolutely. I will. I mean, I totally would. It depends on what it is, but yeah, no doubt. I can see myself buying a Rolex. I can see myself buying a JLC. I can see myself buying a Nomos or even one of these new Grand Seikos. It would probably be pre-owned, but it still would be, you know. Hi to Rolly. Love the last wine recommendations. Rolly. Chris, give the fans what they want. I will. Are Black Dial Universal Geneva pole routers easy to source? They really aren't. They're super expensive now. They're very, very hard to find. You know, very hard to find. What do you call the markers on the Air King? I don't have a name for them. They're odd. Of course, they're original, you know, markers, but it's an oddball thing. So I'm gonna have to obviously find out. Miguel, what is up, Miguel? I actually saw my watchmaker. I actually saw my watchmaker today. I'm servicing a family heirloom for Miguel right now through the Theo and Harris Service Center. So if you guys already have not known about this TNA Service Center, check it out. We're doing an amazing job. Our watchmaker was off. You know, this Jewish holiday this week, and one of the guys involved had surgery. It was just a whole big mess. But we are back on track. And we're doing, you know, really, really well. We have a lot of service cases right now. We have something like 20 people in service at the moment, or at all moments. So it's awesome. I'm really excited about it. Tackle your brother from the back. Favorite Baselworld watch? I don't know. I love the Omega Railmaster. That was great. What Nomos would you consider? I would buy the Orion. I would love to get the world timer, the GMT or whatever, but you know, it's just too big for my wrist. It doesn't look good. Yeah, Omega Railmaster 60. Yeah, it is cool. Tudor Ranger, yes or no for a field watch? No, I wouldn't get it. It's really cool, but no, I wouldn't get it. Yeah, I've had my grandpa's watch service. Yes, Andrew had his grandfather's watch service through us, and it's such a pleasure. I mean, it's such a pleasure seeing these things get done and watching our watchmakers who are true. I mean, yeah, they're experts. I mean, they're just experts. So just to see it done, it's just, it's just, to me, it's so geeky and it's so cool. Thoughts on Baltic watches? Baltic is a new company out there right now, the micro brand. Supposedly doing a very good job. You know, I think that the watches are great looking, but I don't know anything about the price point. I don't know anything about the people. For me, I although the watch may be nice, I would really want to know the people are good. I'm very, very hung up on people. I'm like really hung up on people. So it's hard for me to kind of separate that. I think that if you're going to invest, because when you buy a watch, I don't just mean investing like looking to make money, but you're spending your money. I want it to be a real full package kind of thing. I don't want it to just be I don't know, a shallow purchase. I find that often you end up with such a bad taste in your mouth. My Rolex Datejust, I mean, it's an amazing watch, and I'm so happy I bought it. But my experience about the whole thing has been awful. It's been awful. So as far as purchasing it from its prior owner, and that's. It's just my 2 cents. I want the entire experience to be special for people, and that's very important. So he came up with it, Carlos. He has Theo and Harris in my basement. Yes, Theo and Harris started Theo and Harris, and then I locked them up, and I've taken the company to the next level. So Where in New York City is a great place to buy a new watch? Torno, Wempe, or go directly to the boutiques. Wempe is a wonderful place to buy a new watch, but it's not cheap. I mean, it's certainly not cheap, but it's a wonderful place to buy a watch. They're terrific people. They're super kind. It's amazing. What watch does Anna wear? Anna, you want to show them your watch?
I do.
Anna has a really cool watch. 1 second. She's going to grab it for you guys real quick. Ready? This is Anna's... Well, oh, you want to show it to them? You can show it to them if you want. Well, Anna's going to show you her watch.
So this is my watch. I think I know some of you have seen it before. Which one? There we go.
It's Universal Geneve pull router, micro router, and with date, and it has an amazing galaxy-like patina. And this is a really incredible piece. I mean, the condition is wonderful. It's gold-plated, but the lugs are extremely sharp, and to me it's one of the best.
The dial's just so cool.
It's one of the best pull routers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. That's just my opinion. Wrist check, Anna. Get on this. Yep, nice strap. Yeah. Anna is the editor. Anna, my sister. What do you think about luxury quartz watches? It depends. It depends on the watch. It really does. It depends on the watch. Yeah, like a FP Journe, really cool watch. I'd buy it secondhand, but a really cool watch. I don't know if I would buy it though. There are better options out there. What does your sister wear? My sister does not wear a watch. Awkward. I've told her so many times, let me hook you up with something. Not to buy, just wear it. Like, just wear it out. Like, just have fun. I own it. Just wear it. So, she won't though. I need to find a stainless steel black dial pull router. I know, but they're so expensive. A real factory fresh farm one. I mean, it's super expensive. Just picked up a Date 8 and I effing love it. Glad, congratulations, buddy. Seriously, I'm glad that you bought it. I think that the Date 8 is such a wonderful watch. It's just something that it will kind of always be fun. Next video with TGV, hopefully soon. Anna wants a gold Date 8. Anna, I thought she would, and I told her to wear one, but she won't wear it. She's not interested. No watch, Anna. You should be hanging out here. You shouldn't be hanging out here. Treat her well. What do you think about vintage Soviet watches? Interesting watches, but kind of very poorly made, and I've had a lot of experience in them breaking in the beginning of my whole watch, thing. Let's see. What do you think about Braithwaite watches? Oh God. What do you think about Braithwaite watches? The same thing as like Michael Kors, Daniel Wellington. So you guys know my opinions. What do you think about the Victorinox Dive Master 500 mechanical? I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen it, so I couldn't give my opinion. Sorry, buddy. What are your thoughts on the reclining use of watches nowadays? I don't really care. I studied religion in college, and there's a really interesting point in religion and in Catholicism, Christianity. I'm not getting religious right now. I'm just giving you guys kind of a parallel, in which Christianity became the state religion, of Italy or whatever you wanted to call it back then, and it was 330 or 333 or something like that, 323, I don't know, after the Battle of Milvian Bridge. Anyway, Christianity became the state religion, and a bunch of non-Christians were Christians, and it was very pure and untrue, and it became a disaster because people who didn't give a shit all of a sudden were Christians. But in my opinion, anything, watches in particular, not talking about religion, is much better. It's much better when the real people own it and control it and all that stuff. That's what I love. I love when the watch geeks control what is being made and what's being produced and all that stuff. That's what is interesting to me. That's when I like what the market produces, or what the companies produce, because that is when the core audience really has kind of like their full druthers. So anyway, that's my spiel about drawing parallel between how the companies have totally sold out, and same kind of way that Christianity did back in the 330s. Theo and Harris watch dictatorship. Yeah, I'd love to. I always say this. I would love to live in a democracy in which I was the boss and no one else had a vote. But I want it to be called a democracy. I want to call my dictatorship a democracy. That'd be awesome. But I know nothing about watches in general. No, I'm going to sign off in a minute. I know nothing about watches in general, but I found your channel. I think you have. I think they have beauty like no one else. As a broke teenager, how do you suggest getting into vintage watches? You don't have to, spend a ton of money to get into watches. You could just, be into it. You can't always, you can't always, buy shit. It's just not the reality. If you don't have the money, it is what it is, bud. There are fun things that you can own. And maybe I recommend that you look at watches as something that you can't get too emotional about. Something you might have to sell when you have to. Something maybe when you have to buy a car, you have to sell your watch. That it's a reality, and you just remember that watch as the pleasure that it was to own when you could. It's like having a bank account, and certain watches are like that. You have to buy intelligently, but it is a reality. But no, when you don't have any money, it's a reality that you just can't wait. You can't waste money because you don't have any. So I have a lot of college friends that just can't afford watches, and that's cool. I mean, it's totally respect it. But they wish they could buy a Rolex or an Omega from me, and they just can't. What's the most expensive watch you would buy for the shop? That is changing radically. If you asked me that a couple weeks ago, I would have told you $3,000. But now, we're dealing in some serious stuff. I am way over leveraging myself, and I am, just kind of going for it. I want everyone to, know. I want Theo Harris to be famous for really unearthing the most, amazing watches out there, flat out. We have already conquered this idea of being the best marketers out there because it's just the truth. We are the best communicators, no doubt. But now I want to genuinely not only do a good job sourcing, I want to do the best job sourcing, which is very, very difficult. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Next Patek, not yet. One day soon, but not yet. Just not there. If you had to choose a watch to wear for the rest of your life, which one would it be? My Rolex Datejust, no doubt. Most emotional watch in my life. I always say, like, people ask me, like, if you had to go on an island, what would you bring? The one thing you would bring. And I say, I bring my Datejust. God's honest truth. Well, why? Why would you bring your Datejust? Wait, first of all, do you source ladies' watches? Yes, absolutely. We actually have a ladies' Rolex Datejust coming in soon. It's going to be awesome. It's actually Tiffany stamped, which is really cool. I bring my watches. I bring my Rolex. Why? Because, first of all, I could never, survive on a fucking island anyway. I'm not very resourceful. I'm more resourceful than most people. But I'm not very resourceful. So, a knife isn't going to do it. Or a water bottle isn't going to do it. I'll drink it. Something's going to get me off this island. But at least my Datejust would keep me somewhat nostalgic and sane. That's kind of how I feel. At least that would make my very, Flint. No, I mean Flint. No. So now I have fire. Now I'm going to live the rest of my life on this island. Even if I could survive on this island, why? Why would I? I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't, away from my family and away from, Theo and Harris. It's not even, no. I wouldn't, I really wouldn't want a fire. I wouldn't want a fire. I'm never going to be found on this island. So I don't want to live on the island. How much watches did you sold in your store? Geez, nearly 400 watches. We're on fire. How about a woman? No, God. No, and I have to share whatever I do have, No. I'm sure I'll catch a couple fish, and I don't want to share that. Datejust reflecting sunlight equals fire. Yep. All right, let me show you guys these watches again, and then I'm going to sign off. Ready? Cool. Tudor. With a gray dial, 34 millimeters. It almost has a little olive kind of twist there. It's got a smooth bezel and a beautifully sharp case. This watch is it's a watch that as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it. I paid more than I should have when I bought it. But it is what it is. I just wanted it. I really wanted it because I knew that someone out there would want it, and that's it. So although it was too high for me, and I'm not going to, raise the ceiling on it. I have a ceiling on watches that I'm going to sell them for. So what I buy them at really doesn't reflect that. But it is what it is. So, it's an amazing watch, and it's my pleasure. That's what happens when you're a geek of the thing you sell. Sometimes, like, the whole idea of, like, making a living and, like, actually, like, trying to make money kind of gets thrown out of the window. If I was selling, I don't know, something else, I feel like it wouldn't be a big deal. If I was selling orange juice, I wouldn't care because I have enough orange juice, but, Anyway, this is a Movado, double stamped with Zenith. They manufactured the movement and designed the watches together, I believe. It's a museum. I don't know the reference, but to me it looks a lot like a Patek Philippe Ellipse, and I absolutely love it. Another watch. When I saw, I said to myself, I'm not sure if anyone would like it. I love it, and I think that, I hope that someone will like it. That was kind of my thing. Are you medicated? No, I'm not medicated. Sorry. This is a Rolex reference 1601 with a beautiful slate, kind of like silver dial, with the custard lume on the hands and matching on the hour indices. Beautiful watch, 1601 with a white gold bezel. I mean, really perfect. I mean, I'm looking at the condition, and it's super sharp. I mean, this is beautiful. Of course, this is fresh from service, as they all are, running at chronometer specification on this one. So really beautiful. This is an Omega Constellation with an observatory case back. Wow, geez, listen to that. I mean, it's perfect. There's not an ounce of friction. I mean, it's just beautiful. So look at that. I love what you guys can't really see on the video is so these dials are pie pans, right? So they go up and they go down. It's like if you took a pie pan, you flipped it upside down and then looked at it. That's what it looks like. But the texture on it is just spectacular. I love the hour indices too. This is a Jard Perigo Seahawk with these really sharp hour markers. I love the style on them. I think it's beautiful. This watch is something that, to me, represents just so much value for a couple of reasons. Mostly because their price, really, their price at around anywhere between $700 and $1,000, depending on a bunch of different variables, brings just as much punch, if not sometimes more, than Omegas that could cost $100, $200 more. So that's super important. What is the best way to contact you? Shoot me an email at info@theoandharris.com, info@theoandharris.com, and I will hook you up. Seriously. Cool. Yo, what's up, Eric Wind? He's here. What's going on? Eric, look at this Air King that I just got in. Check this out. Eric Wind, my boy. Actually, I've actually never met Eric, but Eric and I have exchanged emails a bunch of times, and he's a phenomenal guy. Someone who I would recommend anyone do business with. He's at Christie's. I think he's the head of watches there, or like the president or vice president or something very fancy at Christie's. He's just one of the really generous people in the watch industry. Eric owes me nothing, and yet he'll answer my emails. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you answer some kid's emails? I have no idea, but he does, and that is something I'm eternally grateful for. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching live AskTNH on this Wednesday night. The watches that I've shown you here tonight will be in the watch shop at theoandharris.com on Tuesday, and this one will be going live on Thursday. If you have any questions or want to see any of these watches, through email, shoot me an email, info@theoandharris.com, and I will hook you up with some more photos, some more specifications, prices, and a really good deal, because if it's before the day it's being listed, I can give it at a better deal. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful night. Boom, watch fam. All right. Now it's very anticlimactic because I have to turn the video off, and now I have to turn